Ezra in the Old Testament. This is Esdras, which is the Greek Ezra, and they're totally different books. Yeah, we'll be getting into that. Like I said, guys, we started 2024 with a bang. By the time the Olympics kick off in 2024, you'll be able to look back and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much I learned on Archaic since January." Yeah, that's how much I'm releasing in January and February and March. Oh, and April and June. Olympics don't kick off till like late June, July. Was the dark satellite created by the simulacrum or created by beings in the holography? I would never be able to answer that. I don't know. I would not be able to answer that. I just don't know. I do know that starting with 1899 BC, we have an unbroken chronology from 1899 BC, which is 1996 Annus Mundi. It is the year of the Tower of Babel incident when there was a confusion of languages. I've done a video about it showing that, look, this could have only happened in a simulation. There is no way that an entire group of people speaking one language was coming together to build a structure to try to break out of this world. Come on. This is what the Tower of Babel story is about. When you remove all the dressing, the lowest common denominators was the overseers looked down and saw that a architectural project was going on, and even the overseers said humans have gotten way too intelligent and too imaginative to the point where there's nothing they cannot accomplish. So in order to keep them from being able to break out of this reality, the sim, because that's what they were trying to do by building this architect. And later on, it became the Tower of Babel. But originally, it was an architectural structure that was designed to breach the simulation. They were going to do it. So, whoever the overseers are, they sent a cataclysm, but they sent it as an object that created a massive amount of destruction. And it was an object that could focus huge plasma, which we call flux tubes. Huge bolts, billions of whatever. I'm not an electrician, I don't know it, but I'm going to tell you now, in the historical record, they called them thunderbolts and lightning, and they just vaporized and melted cities and fortresses. And it wasn't just at that site, it was their whole civilization was reset. And then all of a sudden, when they tried to come back together, they could only understand certain people. And after the end of 2 or 3 months, everybody was divided into 70 different groups. They all spoke 70 different languages. Only in a simulation is that possible. Only in a hollow field can you take a single language and turn it into 70 different languages. It is a change. It is an alteration in programming. That's what it is. Thank you. It's an alteration in programming. That's exactly what it is. That's what the story is conveying to us. The dark satellite appears, but according to the mystic traditions, the dark satellite is a prison that contains ancient ones. And I've shown this. Fragments of that are in the old Arabic mystic traditions. We see fragments of it in the Necronomicon. Remember, the Necronomicon was genius because we already know it was fiction. That's why they got away with telling the truth in it about the gate of Yakshakak and about the portal that they're trying to open. It's all in there from over 100 years ago. This is why I show on my channel in Dark Scriptures playlist, I have videos showing you that some of the satanic literature told the truth and knew it could hide the truth for generation after generation by labeling it as satanic literature because people would ignore it until the time that it was actually understood for what it was. Yeah, some of you guys need to look at my Dark Scriptures, Daughters of Pale Lilith Stand, that video there. Yeah, it's got some amazing stuff about the Great Pyramid and what it truly is. So, Dark Satellite has a perfect periodicity. It's perfect all the way to a year, 713 BC, when something else weird happened. What happened in that year? All of a sudden, the year changed from 360 days a year to 365. And again, another thunderbolt from heaven. In the book of Isaiah, we find that in the days of King Hezekiah, a thunderbolt came from the sky and vaporized 185,000 Assyrian soldiers that were going to attack Jerusalem. That's amazing. It's exactly on this periodicity of the dark satellite. And if anybody wants to know, that's in my book, Anunnaki Homeworld. I give the exact chronology of the dark satellite when it's been seen. I have even more data for that now. I even have a video on the dark satellite. But that same periodicity never changed, and it counts all the way to 2052 coming up. What's going to happen in 2052? Well, every time the dark satellite appeared in history, it caused edits. It changed little things in reality, and it also just exploded with flux tube activity. Something in the sky interacting with our field was just blasting cities and fortresses and melting them. It vitrified. This is the origin of the vitrified monuments, the monuments that have been hit with such intense heat that they crystallize. So they melt like glass. So that's what the dark satellite does. It'll be back in 2052. Was it created by the simulacrum? I don't know. Simulacrum, however you want to say it. Was it created by beings in the holography? I don't know. I know that in the traditions, it was called Kingu. And this is the old Akkadian traditions, the cuneiform. It was called Kingu. And it was a former, like, rock and metal moon of a much larger body. So, I don't know. I just don't know. But in the mystic traditions, it's a prison. Charles Burgoyne in the 1880s, in his Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, he goes off and he explains. He's got a lot of material about it. Talks about the ancient ones imprisoned in this object and how they're coming back for the last days. It's all in there. Charles Burgoyne. You just have to listen to my dark satellite video on that. Let's see. Jason, what's your take on the crystal skulls? All right. One crystal skull was found, Central America, at an ancient ruined site called Lubanton. By all, here's where the controversy lies. There's no controversy that a crystal skull was found. All right. But 3 or 4 more crystal skulls have been found since then, and that's where the controversy lies. It seems as if there's an agency out there making replicas and false ones and throwing them out there to muddy the waters. And the reason I'm saying that is because the original crystal skull cannot actually exist. I'm telling you with my mouth that it was found and it was discovered in the ancient pre-Mayan ruins of Lubanton. Very ancient, way before the Maya. Very ancient city, these ruins, this crystal skull was found. I'm telling you it was found. I'm telling you it was the truth. I'm also telling you, as a crystal skull, it is impossible. It cannot exist. It has a movable jaw, just like the human jaw. Everything is anatomically perfect on the crystal skull, even all the fractures of the cranium. That's what I'm telling you guys. As a piece of art, it is impossible. The crystal skull looks just like a human cranium with the jawbone still intact because the crystal skull still has the movable jawbone. But how do you do that with crystal? It has no yield. You can't fit the jaw in. It's impossible. Crystal will not bend. There's no way to put the jaw in there. There's no way to carve it in there. So I have a theory. That somehow technology or something, some poor bastard got vaporized and turned into crystal, because that's the only explanation for the crystal skull of Lubanton. But the other skulls that were found after that are totally to muddy the water. They're totally to make you think that the whole original skull was bullshit. All right. Any info on the guy who took possession of almost all the Florida lands in a Phoenix year of 1764? I don't know. 1764 has a lot of interesting Phoenix-related material. I just don't know, because at that point in time, I mean, we don't have a lot of information on Florida at that time. This is 1764. I would like to know anything that you know, because apparently you're asking from a position of awareness. You're aware of something I'm not. But I know 1764 was on the 138-year Phoenix periodicity. I'm just not sure who you're talking about, this guy who took possession of almost all the lands in Florida in that year. I would not be surprised at all. Wouldn't even be surprised. I would like to have more data on that. Let's see. Some of these are real general questions. What I mean is a general question almost always results in a general answer. So if you want something highly specific you're looking for, it needs to be a very specific question. Like this one. How about the Antichrist speculation and end times? TIA. Or is it TIA? I don't know. The Judeo-Christian version of the apocalypse and how to interpret the book of Revelation, as I've shown in my prior presentations, is bullshit. We were led to believe that we had to interpret the book of Revelation as it would be interpreted if it was a Judeo-Christian document, but that's not what we found. By using the Judeo-Christian interpretation, we completely missed the Phoenix phenomenon being the sixth seal, like it was many times in history. We completely missed the fact that the white horseman holding a bow and given a crown is emblematic of a major figure in mythology that has nothing to do with the Judeo-Christian version of the white horseman being a messianic figure like an antichrist. Has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with Apollo Pharmakia. And I've already gone into great detail in prior videos how the first seal, basically in Greek, describes the servants of Apollo attacking the human family with something that was poisonous. This is the interpretation. This is using just the Greek to interpret the first seal. Therefore, the second seal is going to be very different than what the Judeo-Christian version tells us as well. So as far as Antichrist goes, we're not there yet. I don't believe we're there at all. The seals need to be broken before the beast kingdom can even be unleashed. The seals need to be broken before Apollo can even be released from the pit. So this is all in Revelation. Remember, the theme of the book of Revelation is the release of Apollyon. Yeah, that's what it's about. The seals just begin that process. So I don't see an Antichrist appearing unless it's a false apocalypse and false Antichrist. We're not there yet. We're about to see this year the unfolding of the second seal of the apocalypse. It's going to be a ride. It's going to be a ride, man. A lot of people are going to have those aha moments. They're going to be going, wow. And a whole bunch of people who are riding the fence are going to see this unfold exactly the way as I described in my videos, interpreting the second seal, and they're going to look back on the first seal now and say, damn, that was dead on accurate. Yeah, the seals were designed to wake us up. We have nothing to fear. So, what technology was used to make the simulacrum and AIX? Where did those technologies come from? I don't even know why you would even think I would know that. I would know that. My research is based off the amalgamation of a tremendous amount of data that most people have never been able to put together because they have lives, they have children they have raised, they have work, occupation, they go on trips. I sat in a prison cell and I cogitated on all these things, and I brought every piece of acceptable data that I actually accepted to be true into my paradigm to put it all together, and I came up with the conclusion that we live in a construct. I used to think it was a construct 100%, built by God. It's all good, and it probably was, but AIX is not godly at all. It is an agitator, and it could be an agitator program. It could actually be what I've inferred many times. AIX, artificial intelligence X. X means it's an unknown factor. Hence, my platform is called Archaics, Advanced Research of Chronological History of Artificial Intelligence X. Where do I get the chronological history from? My baby phoenixes might not know this, but I have over 200 videos that go deep into world chronology, showing you fascinating mathematical patterns that cannot be true, and yet they are. They're all very well documented. This is why I know we live in a construct. If the present is a part and an extension of a greater construct, then that means all of history was constructed as well. If I can show that anything is true today, then it was true yesterday as well. So this is where I get this. Can I tell you what kind of technology? I don't know. I believe that we're suspended within right now a very hyperdimensional spiritual technology, but we can't recognize it. No one inside a bubble can see objectively outside the sphere of that bubble because you're looking through a thin film, and although you think you see clearly, that film is going to create some distortion. But you're not gonna know that from inside. You're subjected to the distortion. On the outside of the bubble, you can see very clear, and you can see that the soul that's on the inside of the bubble is very unclear. You're looking from a totally different perspective. I believe it's all spiritual, but I don't believe that there is any contradiction whatsoever in the term spiritual technology. What's your thoughts on 1,000 years of peace mentioned in the Bible? There are a lot of statements like that could be interpolations. I don't really give that statement a whole lot of credence. I don't, because remember, there's many times where it says in the days of Noah. Okay, well, it's talking about a period of time, but it also says a day unto the Lord is as 1,000 years. So unless it's giving me something highly specific like 7 days, or like in the book of Daniel in 2,300 days, then I can't really, that right there is a general term for a long period of time. Please clarify the line year between BC and AD. I get confused. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just screen share. I'll tell you what. I'm going to Chronicon. This for everybody to see. I'm going to my desktop version of Chronicon, which any of you can order. It's amazing. Let me show you. Let me show you real quick. Anybody can order this. This is a lifetime's worth of research, edited. Shiva Shampoo was in on it. Babette was in on it. Don Kosh was in on it. They edited. They checked my math. They checked my numbers. Thank you. They checked all these things. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use this because we just started selling these on Podia. But this is a massive amount of research. It is the history of the world in chronological order, showing you things I promise you have never seen before, showing you mathematical patterns, and it's amazing. I mean, there could be 100 YouTube channels putting out a video a week based off the research in Chronicon, and still it would take years to get all this out. Ask Shiva Shampoo. That man knows. He spent a lot of time with the calculator checking my math. So let me share my screen and show you. I'm going to show you exactly how we know the BC, where BC and AD flow together, how we know the time. I'm showing you right now. Because I provide that in Chronicon. It's very easy to see why I stick to the Annus Mundi calendar. It's an unbroken year timeline going thousands of years, and the BC AD overlap is very, very confusing to people. They always get 1 year too many or 1 year too less in their calculations. It's because they're not paying attention to this one little fact. I'm about to show it. Let me share my screen. All right. Present, share screen. I'm going to share my entire screen. Go here. All right. So here it is right here, guys. This is Chronicon. Oh, it's massive. So we're just going to go down here. This is the legend that tells you all the other stuff. We're going to go down here. This little PayPal deal is not for me. This is for those who order Chronicon. You can donate because she deserves it. Babette was the main editor. She went through over 500 hours of typing. Here it is, over 500,000 words. Yeah, you can see it all right here. There it is. So here is Chronicon. I'm going to show you how this works. Here's the forward, tells you a bunch of details. Intro about these are magic numbers. These are magic numbers. I don't care what you're doing. in predictive systems of analysis, if you're trying to separate fact from fiction, whatever you're trying to do, these are magic numbers. And then here's how Chronicon begins. This massive document. Let me show you. Here's before the flood. The archive 1 is 3,000 years covered in 98 dates. Now look at this. We'll go to, let me pick 3895 BC. You see this? 3895 BC. All I have to do is click onto this arrow. 3895 BC right here shows me it's 6,000 years. Oh, there's a typo here. Damn. That's not before flood. That's before Armageddon. 1656 years before flood. It's 1,344 years after the Nemesis cataclysm. It's 414 years of the Phoenix calendar. It's the 144th year since the capture of Luna, the capture flood, when the moon appeared. When I hit this arrow on the side, it opens up that entire, hold on, it opens up the entire deal. Man, I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. Maybe it's because I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, might be because I'm sharing the screen, guys. It's not letting me open that document. Yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah, something happened. Or maybe because I'm on StreamYard and this document is so big, it's not responding.
It hit index.
What are you talking about?
It says index at the very end of each one, and that's a link. You don't see
No,
index.
my computer's not responding. It's my computer just went off.
Not the arrow, it says index.
Wow. Okay, Microsoft Word is not responding. That's what happened. I'm gonna restart that program. Yeah, guys, Chronicon's huge. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna exit it. I'm gonna exit that. I don't know what's going on with this. This is wow. That's frustrating. I just want out now. Damn, I just want out. Just let me out of there. Oh my God. Is it not gonna let me out? Collapsed by default. I'm running too many operations on my deal at the same time. That's crazy. I don't like that. That's the first time that ever happened to me. It was in a live video. How embarrassing is that? That's crazy. There it is. I'm going to do it again. I'm going right back to where I was. There are thousands of these entries. There it is. See, it worked just fine. Second time it worked just fine. I clicked onto the arrow next to it. It opens up that whole date. Look, this is all 3895 BC. This is the year Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden. Here it is right here. This is the beginning of the 1,656 years before the flood. This is just one date. Look how much data is here. This is where the origin of the word Adam. Here's the gematria. Everything that's said in the Kabbalah, in the Midrashic text, the ancient Greek. Look at that. Here it is right here. It's a lot of data. Here, the red part is new research notes that were added in. The blue part is new research notes from a different time period that were added in. I never stop researching, guys, over and over. This is all one date. It's all one date. This is all 3895 BC right here. It's massive. This is the beginning. At the end, here it is right here. All this is the bibliography. This is where I got all of that data right here. That's how Chronicon is. So let's go to what you asked for. You asked for the confluence between BC and AD. So let's go there. I'm going to show you right now. Here it is. 1 BC. There's 3 BC, 2 BC, 1 BC, and then we get to 1 CE. I'm going to click on 1 CE and show you how it works. All right. So uh, maybe it's in the Jesus section. Hold on. I got a chart. There's a chart drawn that oh, here it is right here. Anno Domini calendar. There's your chart right there. This shows you how it works. 4 BC, 3 BC, 2 BC, 1 BC, then it's 1 AD. Many people make the mistake of putting a zero in between them. There's no year zero. There's no year zero BC. There's no year zero AD. These butt up to each other, and here are the Annus Mundi dates. The Annus Mundi dates are absolutely perfect. 3891, 3892, 3893. There it is right there. Blow it up for you guys. That's out of Chronicon. That's how the BC calendar merges with the AD calendar, and this is what the year is on the Annus Mundi. The Annus Mundi is unbroken. 3893, 3894, 3895, 3896, 3897. There's the BC, there's the AD. I hope that answered your question, but it goes into a lot. Chronicon, you can spend a long time reading Chronicon. It's amazing, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. In this version of Chronicon, we even go into the future. I'll go look. I'm going to show you. Look, every single year is here. 1948, 49, 50, 51, 52. Most people don't even know their history. Most people don't even know all these events unfolded on these dates. Amazing events that are recorded on these dates. Here's my birth year, 1973. Yeah, man, it's all here, guys. Look at this. Oh, look at that. 2018, 2020, 2021. Look at this. 2028, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040. You can click on to any one of these dates, and it's going to open up a huge section of the future. Nostradamus prophecies, Mother Shipton, what we find in the Old Testament prophecies, the apocryphal prophecies, the pseudepigraphical prophecies, the Greek Sibylline oracle prophecies, what we find in the New Testament prophecies. Everything is in here, all indexed and in chronological order. It's the future. It's the future, all in Chronicon right here, going through. It's massive, guys. I got to do videos on all these dates. You talked about the dark satellite. Here it is, 2052. Click onto that. Oh, look at all that. Look at all that. Everything from the historical record showing the dark satellites coming on this date, what ancient texts talk about it, it's all here, guys. It's all here. Return of the Chief Cornerstone. Oh, there's 2070. There's 2070, guys. This is when everybody who's exiting the construct, this is the year that they will be sealed. This is the year of the enigmatic statement in Revelation. He that be evil, let him be evil still. Because it's too late to change. You're stuck here. All the good, after this date, all the good in the world's not going to help you if you're not ready. Anyway, I need to get out of this document. It's too much on a computer, apparently. But that is Chronicon. If you want to order Chronicon, go to Podia. Go to my website, look at the Podia links. It'll take you straight to Chronicon. Or if you want to order Chronicon, just hit the email that I provided in the description box right here, and Dawn will send you a link to order Chronicon. Chronicon is the only book you'll ever need to read. I'm telling you that now. All right, I need to quit sharing my screen because there we go. Sorry, guys, I took too long on that question. Yeah, guys, I hardly ever plug my own materials and all that. It's almost unbelievable the amount of research. I didn't have anything to do. People go on vacations. They raise their kids. They go to college. They go to specialty schools. They work 40. They work years and years at an occupation. They come home and they watch Married with Children and all that. I didn't get to do all that. I sat in a prison cell and I read books. And I read more books, and I became fascinated with everything I was reading. And I borrowed and I traded books. I had people all over the world sending me books when they realized what I was doing. And I was sending letters to all these places, and people were just, it's just crazy. And then my dad was visiting me and bringing me books and ordering me books. And then I met Paul Tice of the Book Tree, and way before I got my publishing contract, they were sending me books from their catalog. They didn't know who I was. I was devouring everything in their catalog, I was ordering packages every single month for years. I was devouring it. And then other inmates in prison were also on on some research stuff, and they were trying to learn things. So there was always, I could always take a stack of books I was done with. I had already data mined them. My dad had already picked up huge chain sacks full of all my handwritten notes. Then I got a typewriter, an old typewriter, and I started typing all my notes and organizing them in chronological order. It just naturally unfolded. The more I recorded my notes chronologically, the more everything started to make sense. And I discovered the 138-year Phoenix phenomenon. Then I discovered the 792-year Nemesis X period. Then I discovered the 394.5 dark satellite periodicity. When I discovered all that and overlaid them over the history of the world, it all made sense. Every bit of it made sense. It allowed me to date the sixth seal of the apocalypse as the Phoenix phenomenon, 138 years after 1902. It's all there, guys. Chronicon. If my YouTube channel and my other published books doesn't make you a believer, I promise Chronicon will. You can't read Chronicon. You just can't read Chronicon as a critic. The more you read it and you see all these amazing mathematical patterns all throughout history, there's no way to deny it. You're in the damn matrix. You're in a matrix. It's as simple as that. Oannes. Barfling Arcane. Can you get into Oannes and his history? There's not much there because Oannes is nothing but a Semiticized Babylonian version of the Sumerian Ea. And Ea is Enoch, and we know in 3439 BC, Enoch appeared with 50 Anuna, later called Anunnaki in Babylon, and he appeared in 3439 in the Gihon flood. And I've got whole videos and published books about this single incident. But when you quote Oannes, the half-dagon fish god of Babylon, you're actually referring to Ea, who was Enoch. So it's you're referring to the Babylonian version of an actual historical person who was among the Anuna, humans, not gods. Among the Anuna, who was about 1,000 years before the Babylonians even created the version of Oannes. Let's see. Sorry if I went on that tangent, guys, on Chronicon. I'm trying to catch up on my chat. Yeah, when you're messing with Chronicon, guys, you can't have anything else open. That's how big the document is. Click onto anything, it just unfolds everything that I've recorded for that year. Like I said, it's got all the source materials. Chronicon is my magnum opus. So, how long can people live without the sun? I think they can live if they can supplement vitamin D. If they can find an acceptable source of vitamin D, I don't see why they can't live normally underground. I mean, we have peptides. Peptides are the building blocks. They synthesize anything the human needs. Anything the human body is not getting a lot of, peptides can synthesize those things for the body. Now, I don't really know how to answer this. I don't want to act like I know everything. It's how long can people live without the sun? Well, I'm going to have to say quite a while. We have 60 underground cities in Turkey. That's not Jason telling you this. Anybody can Google it. Dogan Zoyabit, I don't even know how you say it. But there are so many. A matter of fact, I'm bringing two special guests, a married couple, two special guests. Chris and Steve Cremy will be coming on my channel, and we're going to be talking about their travels in Turkey. And I'm going to be revealing to you guys some things that I have found out, because there is no other country in the world like Turkey when it comes to the richness and diversity of massive amounts of archaeological sites and findings. Yeah, I'm going to educate you guys. Everything has been found in Turkey. Everything. And there's no country in the world that can boast to such a rich archaeology as Turkey. It's amazing. It's where the Göbekli Tepe and all the other Tepe sites are. It's where Ararat is, where Noah's Ark was supposedly. Whatever that structure is, Jason of Archaics is telling you they found a legitimate structure. Do I think it was Noah's Ark? I don't know. Could it have been one of many arks that were trying to survive that cataclysm? Absolutely. So, we're going to get to that. Are extraterrestrial controller beings and Agent Smith character of AIX? I don't believe in extraterrestrials. I see absolutely zero evidence. I believe Eric von Daniken is completely wrong, and every single book could be rewritten by me, removing all 27 of Eric von Daniken's books could be written by me and be just as good, showing that humans are responsible for all the technological advancements that we find in the archaeological record. Everything from technolithic engineering, hyperbolic curves, everything about the hypersonic fracture quarrying, all the evidence from the ancient world. Humans. Remember, it only takes us 200 years to go from horse and buggy to Hadron Collider. We don't need no damn ET to come down here and teach us to do anything. We've been doing it, and human innovation is so complex that it only takes a short period of time, and we're already inventing a whole new infrastructure. We don't need aliens, never needed ETs. I don't buy into any Galactic Federation ancient alien crap. It's all adult fantasy, and anybody who falls for that paradigm should be ashamed of themselves. Thank you. It's Scooby-Doo for adults. Unaverage Joe. I have the names now with everybody. Unaverage Joe. Off topic. See, I'm done with this. Wait a minute. Okay, I got that one done. Okay, cool. I finished those. Now I got all your names now. Good.